Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 7. And for this video, I have a very interesting video for you guys in regards to how Godspeed still has speedster abilities whilst the Speed Force is dead, but also while being a speedster that uses V9, how is it that the new versions of Godspeed we saw throughout The Flash Season 6 has unseen abilities that we've never seen before, but also how they could run for a much longer period of time than the Godspeed we saw during The Flash Season 5. So during The Flash Season 5, we obviously got an introduction to the character of Godspeed. However, one change that we got was that we got introduced to him as a speedster which uses V9. So in other words, artificially becomes a speedster using a speed enhancing drug. And that August Heart version of Godspeed we saw was pretty damn weak. And since we already got August Heart for The Flash Season 5, I doubt that the Godspeed we will see for The Flash Season 7 will be August Heart. I have made tons of theory videos in regards to who this new Godspeed could be, who the original Godspeed could be, and I will refer to that theory later on in this video as well. So after that Season 5 appearance of Godspeed, we saw Godspeed in 2 episodes of The Flash Season 6. However, we got introduced to those Godspeed clones instead of being like the original Godspeed. And the one in episode 18 of season 6 not only seemed a lot more advanced than the other 2 speedsters that we saw, but also he was still able to run at full super speed even though that the Speed Force was dead. So this got a lot of people confused. However, I may have found 2 theories on how he could still have like super speed within him. And you guys seem to enjoy my theory videos, so I have another theory video for you guys to enjoy over here. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so as I said, I have 2 explanations slash theories about this topic, so I'll go over my favorite one first, and I'll refer to my second theory later on in the video because that theory is pretty short compared to the first one. So in order to dive into this first theory, we will have to do a quick flashback to the episode that we first saw Godspeed, so season 5 episode 18. Now during that episode, we obviously had Godspeed going after some chemicals and tech for a reason. Now during the scene where Nora finds out about Velocity 9 and that Godspeed is using it in the Flash Museum, she says, "That's it. Benzene methanol, carbon disulfide, dioxygen difluoride. The base for the extracellular matrix for Velocity 9, only he's trying to make one that lasts forever." So over here we find out that if Godspeed gets his hands on a specific chemical and combines it with V9, he will become a speedster permanently and not temporarily, meaning he wouldn't have to keep injecting himself with V9 over and over again. Instead, he just becomes a speedster permanently. Now we do get more of an idea about what he's planning throughout the course of the episode. So we have Nora going up to Eobard Thawne, and she's obviously begging for help, with Thawne obviously denying her request. But again, we have Nora mentioning Godspeed has stolen enough chemicals to make an extracellular matrix that replicates speed powers. The only thing that keeps him from becoming a speedster permanently is a stabilizing agent. And during the episode, we find out that this stabilizing agent is known as the biometric converter. So from this, we find out that if Godspeed gets his hands on various chemicals alongside a stabilizing agent combined with his V9, he becomes a speedster permanently, meaning he would no longer have to use V9 at a regular basis. So what if the original Godspeed, who is our main villain for season 7, does exactly that, and possibly including himself as well? So he makes the Godspeed clones, doses them with V9, mixes those multiple chemicals up with a biometric converter, and then they become permanent speedsters without really having the Speed Force in their system, as they weren't really natural speedsters. So this is how the Godspeed clone during the Flash Season 6 episode 18 still had speed, even though the Speed Force is dead. He was never a natural speedster in the first place, and he never had the Speed Force within him. All Godspeed had was a speed enhancing drug combined with the chemicals and the biometric converter. So technically you could say they have their own version of the Speed Force if you want to, but I'm not really sure about that. Now this is how I believe that this Godspeed clone was able to do some pretty impressive stuff with his abilities as well, because he doesn't really have the Speed Force within him. He has something totally different, which could be like a similar thing to the Speed Force. So that's how he was able to do like those sonic beams that we saw him do to Barry, but also steal his speed. And obviously we haven't seen Barry do this as well, which does make this theory more right as well. So maybe the original Godspeed was never even a natural speedster in the first place as well. Now you guys obviously know my Eddie Thawne Godspeed theory. I've done like 2 videos of that. If you guys haven't seen it, as my new subscribers wouldn't have probably seen it, I will link those videos in the description down below. And trust me, it's very likely to happen. If you guys watch the video, you guys would feel convinced that Godspeed could potentially be Eddie Thawne. So maybe Eddie Thawne did the same thing. He dosed himself with V9, grabbed the chemicals and got a biometric converter, and then he became a permanent speedster known as the original Godspeed. And to seek his revenge on Barry, he sends in Godspeed clones, and since they were all unsuccessful, it's now time for the Eddie Thawne Godspeed to arrive for The Flash Season 7. But yeah, this is just an explanation slash theory that I had. It's by no means true. Obviously this may not be correct. It was just an idea which I wanted to share with you guys. It just popped into my head when I rewatched that Season 5 episode. So could that first theory be likely? Be sure to tell me what you think about the first theory. Now the second theory is pretty unlikely and it's quite short as well, which is why I wanted to go over this last and dive deeper into the first theory that I had. So essentially we know that Godspeed is from the future, and in the future the artificial Speed Force would have already been complete. Meaning any speedster in the future who's tapped into the new Speed Force at that time would be a speedster without any issues. So the reason why Godspeed has speed whilst the Speed Force is dead is because he is a speedster from the future traveling back in time under the orders of the real Godspeed and going after the Flash like that. So this could explain why Godspeed didn't struggle with his speed whilst Barry in the other hand was obviously struggling with the death of the Speed Force. That is because Godspeed, for him, the Speed Force is already with him because he's from the future and he's already tapped into it. Whereas Barry over here, he doesn't have it yet. He didn't build the Speed Force yet, so he wouldn't have had any like Speed Force within him. He would have only had the remaining speed that he had post-Crisis. Because in his timeline, as I said, he doesn't have the Speed Force working yet. So as I said, this is the second theory and it is quite short, but it was really interesting as well. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about these 2 theories. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.